Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of That's All Funny. Episode 526. I'm just waking up today to do it. The day before I had a bunch of fucking schoolwork to do. I did it last minute because I'm a piece of shit. And it got done. Well, I was late, but it got done. So, what can I do? I got it done. Fucking did it. It's done. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, I don't know. Other than like uh whatever. Just let's look at the news. I'll just wait, hold on. Where are we at? Let's look at the news. Let's look at the news. Wait, that's not what I want. Okay, here we go. Zuckerberg's Asia tour to range from AI to Ambani wedding party. So he's on a press sort of junket. Is that what they call it? He's going over to Japan, South Korea, and India to work on artificial intelligence services and forge ties with business and government leaders in that region. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg looks weird, dude. Like, he's got like a long hairline. It just trips me out. But I mean, who really? I trip out because I really don't ever check my Facebook anymore. I remember you used to checking it religiously, and now I don't know who's like on Facebook. I keep getting messages from Facebook like, "Oh, I can't believe like this person would comment, "Oh, I can't believe this person's gone." And you can tell it's like a spam sort of thing, like a phishing scam, where they're trying to get you to like the bots trying to get you to click it from their name, and then it passes on that virus, and I don't know what it does. Is it just to inconvenience us or just like really steal a lot of data? Because I mean, we're already used to giving away all our data to fucking the big tech, so who cares if these other people know our data, right? We just like anytime I know we agree to something, we just sign it. Like agree. We don't read the fucking 85-page terms of services and shit. I don't anymore. Uh, so who knows what we're fucking agreeing to whenever we fucking agree to that shit. The terms of service. And they make them all long, tiny font and complicated, but whatever. Um, let's go on to the next bit of news here. U.S. airman dies after setting himself ablaze outside of Israeli embassy in Israel Hamas war protest. So, an active member of U.S. Air Force has died after setting himself ablaze outside of the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C., while declaring he will no longer be complicit in genocide. And he's actually from San Antonio. That's interesting. He died of his injuries. I'm just wondering what side he was on. At one point, he said, uh, the man started a live stream, set his phone down, and then doused himself in accelerant, ignited the flames. At one point, he said he would no longer be complicit in genocide. The video was later removed from the platform, but law officials have obtained and reviewed a copy. Uh, succumbed to his injuries and passed away. I guess he just didn't want to be a part of the war. I mean, that's commendable, but there's better ways to protest it, bro. No, I mean that's one way, but I don't think that's not gonna fucking change anything. There are people that are literally, dying and all this other shit and doing other things, and you think, oh, like you think that will be the turning point. Like, you know what? If I set myself on fire, this will change everything. And it's like, you're just one person, and I don't know. It's rest in peace, man. Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but it's not gonna end up where you're going. I'm sorry, but you tried. A for effort. Oh, geez, you tried. He tried. Oh, geez. Um, poor guy. Whatever. Going to the next news here. Nick Offerman slams homophobic hate aimed at his episode of The Last of Us in Indie Spirit Award speech. Um, at Sunday's Independent Spirit Awards, actor Nick Offerman addressed homophobic hate aimed over the past year at the standalone episode of HBO's post-apocalyptic drama The Last of Us that he started with blah 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 that earned Offerman a win today for best supporting performance in a new series. I'm astonished to be in this category, which has been asked. Thank HBO for having the guts to participate in storytelling tradition. Stories with guts. When homophobic hate comes my way and says, "Why did you have to make it a gay story?" You see, because you ask questions like that. Added Offerman, it's not a gay story, it's a love story, you asshole. You know, clear my throat for this. I watched The Last of Us. That episode he's speaking of, I think it's episode 2 or 3. It's pretty early in the series, out of the 10 episodes. Yeah. Jesus Christ, sorry, I'm tired. I was up doing schoolwork. Did I tell you that? Anyways, so that episode, it was good, right? It was a cute love story about two gay guys, but it was set in the that world of the apocalypse. So one, I didn't really like believe it, and two, it yeah, it was like a standalone episode. It didn't add anything to the Last of Us story. Like you could have literally skipped that episode and you would have been fine plot point with knowing what was going on. And that's what bugged me the most is like when you like when I was watching the last episode of The Last of Us, it's like, oh, previously on HBO's The Last of Us, and it shows everything that's happened, but it skipped over that gay story part because it knows that that's not part of the plot. Like it didn't need to be told in the story, like it could have been uh I don't know, added somewhere else, could have been avoided, could have it had more to do with the plot. Like it had like the smallest bit to do with the plot. Like it was just like where he got the truck from or where he got weapons from or whatever. And it's like, okay, if you're gonna like have this story in here, have it make more impact on the plot to where literally when you show a recap at the end of the events of the whole series, you skip over that whole episode because it doesn't need to be there because it doesn't add anything to the plot. And that's what bugged me. I didn't care it was two gay guys, two gay love story. That's fine, no worries. It was just like weird. It was like, what does this add to the plot? That was my gripe for it. But what do I know? I'm a fat piece of shit. I don't know. I'm tired too. Speaking of being tired, and the last of us here, the last of this, global economy is weighed down by war, uncertainty, and instability. Trade chief warns, and the head of the World Trade Organization warned on Monday that war, uncertainty, and instability are weighing down the global economy and urged the bloc to embrace reform as elections across nearly half the world's population could bring new challenges. And this woman here in green, who looks kind of like a Grandma Lizzo, I guess, told people that. And to me, it's like, no shit, like what? This is how does this have to be reported? Like, oh, uh, that's why the world is going through shit because of war and uncertainty, instability in the gay economy and elections. That's why. I was wondering why. It's like, no, we weren't wondering why. We know why. We don't need you to tell us, point out the obvious, Captain Obvious. Like this shit, we know, we know what's wrong. It's not like we can really do anything, like we really can't. Yeah, we can all go out and vote and quote unquote make a change, but it's really not going to change anything. The world is still spinning at its speed. Poor people are still poor. And poor people are still poor, not enjoying AEW pay-per-views because we can't afford them. And yeah, that's like, I don't know. That's just file that under no shit Sherlock. But what can we do other than uh try to enjoy our HBO Max, but not get slammed for skipping the gay episode and be called homophobic because that episode adds nothing to the fucking show at all. It really doesn't. It's a great episode. It's heartfelt. It's loving. It's a beautiful love story, but it adds nothing to the show at all. Like even it doesn't even add like an emotional oomph to our characters because those are two characters in their own little isolated story. Like so it doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't add anything to it, and whatever. Again, to my San Antonio guy who burnt himself in front of the embassy. I don't know. What are you hoping for? 20 something virgins after death? Hopefully you got that. I don't know what you were looking for. Obviously, you weren't fulfilled doing what you were doing, and you thought this would make a change. Again, things aren't going to change. Like we hope they would, but they're not. And I don't mean to sound dire, but that's 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 all funny. No, but thank you for listening to the podcast. That's all funny podcast. Available anywhere podcasts are available. Just search That's All Funny. I have another podcast with my buddy Gabe called That's All Kayfabe coming out today here Monday. New episode about elimination chamber and stuff. You can check that out everywhere podcasts are available. Just search That's All Kayfabe, or check out them both out on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ at Lorenzo Ariola. Got other game videos and other videos and stuff. I don't know, just random shit. Right. And I also do a live show with the wonderful at Mid Salad, or the wonderful Mid Salad called Tits and Areolas, where we talk about a movie we watched and then play a game. That's live on Tuesdays in the evenings. You can check that out. See the archived episodes of that, either of our Patreons. If you want to support me, patreon.com/Lorenzo Ariola. $5 a month gets you everything, a bunch of bonuses and stuff like that. Or if you want to buy any merch, t-shirts, prints, what else? I don't forget the last thing. Stickers. Check out www.retrohorrorinc.com for merch, or if you want to just commission some great art from a great artist who does all the art for the show, at Retro Horror Inc. on Instagram. Thank you to my Patreon members. Thank you to the